Don't fall. Oh. Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Nadia and this is Darkxstitch. I typically do a floss tube every week on a Monday, but last week I wasn't able to because I was decorating my living room. So I have an awful lot of things to show. I also did the 24 hours of cross stitch in January, and because I film on a Saturday and then release on a Monday, I didn't show you the Sunday's progress in the last floss tube, so I've got some of that as well. But so because I didn't do a floss tube last week, I have 11 projects to show you this week. I did a lot of stitching. I also thought it would be a good idea to show you how many stitches I did throughout January, because I kind of want to do this thing at the end of every month where I count how many stitches I've done in the previous month, because I write them down anyway, so I thought it might be really interesting to see. And this January just gone, well no, because that makes no sense either. So from what I've written down for January, it says I've done 25,612 stitches, but I have also done Dark Queen of the Seas, which is a paper pattern, so I couldn't count the stitches, and I was working on a stamped kit. Actually, I think I worked on 2 stamped kits in January. So it should technically be around the 26,000, I would say, because I did do a fair bit on Dark Queen of the Sea, and I did a fair few Stitch With Me's on Zen, and then I think I had one day on Dawn to Dusk, which is another one of my licensed stamped kits. So I would say it's around about the 26,000 stitches mark that I did in January, which is really, really cool to see actually. I've never actually counted how many stitches I've done in a month, so I thought that was really, really cool. So let's get straight into it, and the first one up is Intrusive Thoughts. This is artwork that has been done by my daughter, and it's a chart that I've charted myself. It is available on my Etsy shop, but unfortunately the Etsy shop is shut right now because I wanted a bit of a break from it. It's in holiday mode. So you can click the link in the description and favourite the shop, but unfortunately you can't buy anything from it at the minute. This chart is being done on 25 count. Easy gridded fabric, and I am doing half strands. So 2 strands, 10 stitch. And here is where it is now. Hopefully I've already shown you the progress that you saw last time, because I don't want to keep saying here it was and there it is. Here it is now. So I have done 330 stitches on this one. You probably can't really tell, it's not really been that much progress, to be honest. I think I only worked on this one night, and that gives me a percentage total of 23.86% so far. So I really, really enjoy stitching on this one. It's something very, very different from a lot of my projects. It's not completely full coverage, but it's also not what I would probably call a sampler. Yeah, every now and again I'll get this one out. It's not something that I am really focusing on at the minute, but I always enjoy it when I do get it out. Oh, and this one was one of the ones that I stitched in the last day of the 24 hours of cross stitch. So next up we have Dark Queen of the Seas. Now this is by Autumn Lane Stitchery, and I am stitching on, I believe it's 16 count. I thought I'd bought 18 count, but I believe it is 16 count, and I bought a pre-dyed fabric, and I'm using all the coiled floss, I believe. I think I had to change some of the beads. Yeah, I did, but the floss itself is the same. I haven't even got to the beads yet. And I can't show you the stitch count because it's on paper. But here is where we are up to. So I've almost done a fishy. And that's it really, but this one does take a long time. I'm doing 2 strands, full cross. Turn that light down a bit. Love the fabric on this, absolutely love the fabric. The paper pattern is a bit of a pain to read. I tried to blow it up on my PDF to see if I could see it a bit better because the paper pattern's so small. But it's very, very difficult. I have to keep going backwards and forwards to the paper, from the paper to the PDF file, just because it's quite difficult to read. So it does take a bit of time, but I don't mind. I'm not in a rush to stitch this. I will just enjoy it. It's something very different for me. If you've never been here before, I did mention before that I usually do full coverage. It's what you'll probably see here most. And for some reason I can't seem to get my words the right way around today. I predominantly do full coverage. So these type of charts are a bit of a challenge for me, but I am really enjoying it and I am very, very glad I started it. The fabric is beautiful. Now I can't remember where I got this from, what the seller's name was, but I did get this from Etsy. It's very, very pretty. I couldn't get the fabric that was called for this chart, so I just went with the closest thing that I could find. The chart one is a bit more blue, I believe, whereas this one is more purple. But I don't think it will affect any of the colours in the chart. Okay, so next up we have Pokemon, and I am a little bit ashamed of this one. So Pokemon was my focus piece for January, and basically what I've done this year is every month there's a different focus, and I'd like to work on it 3 days of that week. I don't really have a target amount of stitches to do in that 3 days that I work on it, but I would like to do as much as possible. And for the last 2 weeks I have really failed on Pokemon, unfortunately. So Pokemon is stitched on 18 count fabric, and it's easy count fabric, and it's 2 strands full cross, but I haven't done much progress. So you're probably not even going to be able to see any difference in this whatsoever because I only did 167 stitches. I do know why I didn't pick this one up, and I will show you the project that overtook this one because I got a little bit excited on a new project that I started. If you saw my last Flosstube, I made an announcement that my daughter is expecting a child, and I have started a pattern for my first grandchild, and that one kind of overtook this one because they're very, very similar in the style that they're stitched. So I'll show you it in a minute, but the Soda Stitch pattern that I bought is stitched on 16 count 2 strands full cross, and I personally prefer half stitch, sorry. So there's only so many projects that I like to work on at a time that are full cross, and this one just kind of got left behind. I do know who this Pokemon is coming down here now though. This is Mr. Mime, and it's a Pokemon that I really don't like. So it's probably another reason why I weren't that bothered about stitching it. But I did do a fair amount of progress in the other 2 weeks on this one, so I am happy because we managed to get this whole Pokemon here, Ditto, filled out within the month of January, so it's better than nothing, I suppose. So yeah, I only did 167 stitches, and it is now at 9.38%. So this one is now going away because we're in February, and February's focus is Venom, which I do have some progress on anyway, so I will show you that in a minute too. So the next one that is next to me right now is the Heaven and Earth Design Sal. And again, I have sort of gone off the rails with this one. So the Heaven and Earth Design Sal started on the 1st of January. So I've only really had a month with it, which, to be fair, thinking about it that way, it's not that bad of progress, but I have seen so many people like racing ahead with their charts. So I'll just give you a brief explanation. There was 10 charts that you could have chosen from, and for the first 3 months or 4 months you get 3 pages. I believe it's 4 months because I think the next lot are in April. And some people have already finished them 3 pages, and I feel like I am getting behind, but when you think about the fact that it's only been out for a month, I suppose I haven't done that bad. This is on 28 count fabric, and again I'm doing 2 strands half stitch. My stomach is rumbling. I always do these floss tubes in the morning. I should really eat breakfast before I start filming. So here's the progress that I've got done. Now, to be fair, for a month that's not bad going, but as I said, I keep seeing other people that have done the full 3 pages, and I feel like I'm being quite slow. But I also have seen people that have done less than me. I just don't want to get left behind, I think, is the thing that I'm worried about with this. But I shouldn't be, because we have until April to do these 3 pages that we've already got. And then the next 3 come out. And then at the end of the year, there should be the final, is it 3 at a time? I can't remember, but I do have until April to catch up. So I typically do this one during the day when I'm homeschooling my son, but there has been a few days where I haven't done it. There's been a few days where I had to do other things like admin things, and there was a few days where I didn't do any stitching because my son wasn't in a very good mood, so I just sat with him and did the homeschooling, like focused solely on him. So there has been a few reasons why I could have done more. But I'm not going to beat myself up about it because I've done 1,464 stitches. Now I haven't got the percentage because we don't have the full chart, and I think the percentage is off on Pattern Keeper, so I haven't bothered writing it down. But yeah, I did start this one in 1 strand half stitch in this top corner here, didn't like it and went to 2 strands half stitch, which gives you a lot more of a fuller colour. It always seems to be too light when I do 2 strands, 1 strand half stitch. Okay, so next up is Venom. Now Venom is February's focus piece. So you will see Venom a lot this month, sorry. I really want to get this one done by the end of the year. This one is for my daughter, and fingers crossed she will have her own place by the end of this year for her and the baby. So I'm really, really hoping that I can get done Venom and the Soda Stitch pattern and give them to him as like a home warming gift, if that makes sense. But I don't know if I'm going to get it done. So we will see. Venom got quite a bit on him. He did, well I did, sorry, 1,674 stitches in the last 2 weeks on him. And he is now at 22.92%. Oh. I'm going to turn that ring light off now because the sun's coming out. Hopefully you can see it pretty well. But he is on 25 count again, and it is 2 strands half stitch. I do really enjoy stitching this one. It's a lot of block colours of black and then loads of confetti, so it's a big mix between black and confetti, which is nice because I tend to switch between one and the other. I have just started, I don't know if you can see, I've just started doing all the white in his eye. So there's an eye here. You'll see it a bit more when I work the darker colours into the eye around it. But yeah, I'm not going to beat myself up if I don't get this done by the end of the year. But that is a goal of mine, to get this and the Soda Stitch done at the same time so I can give them to my family. So next up is my Lord of the Rings. If you've never been here before, this is the largest project I have. It is 999 stitches wide and 600 and something long. This one I stitch 200 stitches. I try and stitch 200 stitches every night before I go on to a different project, because most of my stitching gets done at bedtime. And I would say I am a little bit behind these last 2 weeks. I don't know why. I think it's that Soda Stitch, this new chart that I've had. I've been so excited to stitch it that it's kind of taken over everything. I also want to say there was a lovely lady that I spoke to on Facebook about this chart. There was it was in one of the Facebook groups. I think it was Nerdy and Uncensored Cross Stitching. There was a post on there this week. And someone put, what's the largest project you've ever done or you're doing? And obviously I commented Lord of the Rings. Somebody asked where the pattern was. Unfortunately, the pattern that I originally bought doesn't exist on Etsy anymore. So if anybody out there knows where this lady can purchase this pattern, because she really wants to do it as well, please let me know in the comments and I will find that post and get back to her, because I've been trying to look for another seller that does this chart, but I can't find one anywhere, which is really annoying because I can't link this chart in the description anymore either. So it would be really handy if anyone can find it for me. You might have a bit better luck than me because I haven't been able to find it at all. So this week I did 1,717 stitches on this, and here is what it looks like at the minute. So I have said before that I had too much brown work, that I was working on too much brown over here because of the sale at the same time. So I decided to come back down to this because I like to do this chart page by page. So I came back into the blue and it's looking very, very nice. It's very, very vibrant. Absolutely love this chart. I haven't really had any problems with the chart, which is why I'm so bummed out that the seller no longer exists. Like, the whole shop has just disappeared. I also bought Prefect's Bathroom from the same seller, but I have seen that one available other places. So fingers crossed we can find this chart for this lady that's looking for it, because it is a really nice pattern. I don't know, obviously it might not be charted the same by a different seller, but you know what I mean, the image is really, really nice, and it is a big, big project. So I've given myself 7 years to do this, before, I want to finish it before I hit 30. 30, I wish, I want to finish it before I hit 40, because I'm 33 at the minute. I started it on my 33rd birthday, is what I'm trying to say. Words are hard today. I go away for 1 week and I can't speak. But then I can't speak usually anyway. So yeah, this one is now at 4.37%, and I am very, very happy with it. I have actually, oh, there's another thing I need to say. I have changed the way I stitch this yet again. So up here I did 2 strands half stitch. On this page here I decided to change to 2 strands, 1 strand half stitch, because the confetti was getting too much and I couldn't get the needle through the fabric. I don't like the way it looks. I really don't like the way it looks. So I have since gone back to 2 strands half stitch. So I am going all over the place with this. I'm changing my mind all the time. I think I have fully decided that I do not like 28 count fabric. And I think that's what the problem is. It's not the stitching, it's the fabric. I just don't get on with 28 count. I have, is it 2 projects at the minute? I have this one and the Sal in 28 count, but I don't think I'll ever pick 28 count again, because it just doesn't seem to work with half stitch as well as 25 count. Now the reason I picked 28 count for this is because it's so big, and I was too afraid to go up another count. I think if I'd have gone to 32 count 1 strand half stitch, it would have been fine, but 1 strand half stitch on 28 count just doesn't look right to me. It's not as vibrant. So these colours here are very, very vibrant because they've been done in 2 strands, but this one here is 1 strand and it just doesn't look as vibrant to me. So I was getting really frustrated with it, and I thought, you know what, because I started this page in 1 strand and I was like, you know what, the darker colours look even worse in 1 strand. I'm just going to go back to 2, and I will deal with the confetti however, well, I'll have to deal with it, won't I? I don't know what else to say. All you need to know is Lord of the Rings gets worked on every day. Might not always be the 200 stitches, but I do work on it every day. So next up, I decided that I wanted to work on Darth Daddy, because I hadn't picked this project up all of January. I had a goal before Christmas that I wanted to get to the end of the pages that I was on, and I think it hit like exactly 50%. It was like halfway through the entire chart. And since then I just haven't touched it, so I really felt like picking it up again, because it is a really easy stitch. This one is done on 28, no it's not 28, this one's done on 25 count, and it's half stitch again, 2 strands. And I did 1,157 stitches. So I started doing some of the black here. This is, what's his name? Luke. This is Luke. Now this picture always makes me laugh because it's not something that you typically see. It's Darth Vader with his children, and obviously he's a villainous character. He's supposed to not like his kids, like he and then it's just a picture of him playing with them as children. It does make me laugh, this picture, but I do really love the colours. And this is by Mandy Manzano, the artwork. And this originally, I wanted this in a diamond painting, but I couldn't get it. It had been discontinued, so that's why I ended up getting it in cross stitch form by a seller on Etsy, Creatively Stitching, I believe. So he, cross stitch. This chart is now at 52.75%. And another good thing, I have finished 16 colours on this chart, which is so satisfying to see when you open Pattern Keeper and there's a 0 next to so many colours on the chart. So I'll show you the top. So basically I got halfway before Christmas, so all I've really done this week is like everything below that line there. So I did a bit of Luke and then I came across and did a bit there. But it's so fun to stitch. It's very, very easy, and I can't wait to get to Darth Daddy actually. Because that part will fly by. It's literally all, he's all black. So there's not much colours left. Yes, very, very happy with this one. And I do think I will try and pick it up a bit more this year, because I think this one will go very, very fast. If I spend a couple of days on it, every now and again, I reckon I could get a fair few stitches done, because I worked on this for 2 days and I'd done 1,157. So definitely, you'll definitely see this one quite a bit this year. So the next one is Gamergirl, which is what I call her. It's a chart from Etsy by Medusa the Doll Maker, the original artist. I have spoke about this chart before. I'm not very happy with the charting, but I'm still going to be doing it. And I didn't actually do that much. But this is done on 25 count again, 2 strands, half stitch. So I only worked one night on this chart, and I did 364 stitches. It was mostly filling out this grey background. So there's not really much to say about this one. It's now at 1.31%. I do want to get this out a bit more. I really should give this a bit more attention. You can see a little star there and 2 little ones at the top, but other than that, you can't really make anything else out at the minute. But yeah, I will try and give this one a bit more love. So next up is the Soda Stitch that I keep talking about. This is the first week of progress, so I have no before picture. And I did work on this quite a bit this week. And here is my first week of progress. Look how adorable this little kitty is. Now obviously I haven't finished it, but I just think it's so cute. Somebody said to me that I will really, really like stitching on a Soda Stitch, and you are not wrong. The Soda Stitch charts are very, very satisfying to do, and they're very, very easy. There's no like confetti, obviously, because it's a really easy chart. There is backstitch, so I think what I'm going to do with each kitty is do the backstitch before I move on to the next cat. So this is the middle of the chart, so this is the middle one. And this fabric, it's very, very, I don't know if you can see, it's quite subtle, but it's DMC's printed fabric in Sandstorm, I believe it's called. I'll see if I can find a picture on the internet and show you it. It's like, it's got yellows and a very like pinky peach. I don't want a plain white fabric because this kitty in the middle has a lot of white on him or her. So it's this blanket on the inside here is all white, and then I need to fill the actual cat in with white. So I didn't want just plain white Ada, but I didn't want anything too in your face either. So I thought this is a very, very nice fabric for a chart for a baby. I'm really, really happy with it. I honestly am. I'm absolutely in love with this chart. I am going to try and work on this as much as I can. This one has been sat by my living room chair, so whenever I've had a few minutes, like after tea or when my son is watching telly in there, I just pick it up and do a couple of stitches because I've got a lot of white to fill in. Now I've done a lot of the background for this cat. All of this, most of this needs to be filled in with white. So I will just do it as and when I need to, and then I need to move the hoop and get this side of him done. But he's the middle one, and I don't usually start in the middle, but I don't mind with this one because it's not full coverage. So yeah, I absolutely love it. And it is, as I said, 16 count, 2 strands, full cross. Oh, I didn't tell you how many stitches I've done on it. Not having a very good day. So I did 1,732 stitches on this one, and it is now at 10.88%. So for 1 week's worth of progress, I would say that is really, really good going. So this one shouldn't take me too long. If I finish this before Venom and she does have somewhere to stay, I might give it to her early to put it up in the baby's room. But if I don't, then I will try and give them both as gifts for Christmas, but we'll see how it goes. The baby's due in June, so more than likely it's going to be done before June, but I don't want to give her something that she can't put anywhere if she doesn't have her own place then. So I will keep hold of it until the time is right. I don't think she knows I'm stitching this either. I haven't asked her. She does. Sometimes she watches my videos and sometimes she doesn't. I will say though, because I'm enjoying that one so much, I need to stop looking because I will end up buying more charts from Soda Stitch. They have a Disney one that I really, really like. And I almost bought that actually before buying the kit, the cats. And I was talking to my daughter this week because she was talking to me about baby things, like what she was buying. And I purchased her a baby crib because she's already bought the cot, but I purchased the crib for her. And we were talking about like bedding and stuff like that. And she said, well, I am really, really into all of the Disney stuff. And I was like, do I go and buy it because she said that? Do I not? Because I don't know if she would like it. But then she also said she's really into the Disney stuff, and I was like, because I obviously really, really like Disney. I actually have a tattoo of the mouse, like my version of the mouse there, with little love hearts in the ears. But she's never really been that bothered in Disney growing up herself. But now she's got a baby on the way, she seems to be very, very into all the Disney stuff. So I was so tempted to buy it, and I was like, no, I better wait until I've finished this one, and then I can always do that at a later date when the child actually knows who the characters are, or I can buy it after I've finished that one and just take my time stitching it, because I was getting so out of hand. I was looking at the giant full coverage Disney ones that you see on Etsy that are like 900 stitches wide, like full coverage scenes, and I was like, no, what are you doing? The child will be 16 by the time you finish that, so I'm not going to do anything big. I promised myself I'm not going to do anything big, but I might go and purchase that Soda Stitch one when I finished this one as a treat. We'll see. So we've got 2 more left. The next one is one of the pieces that I did in the 24 hours of cross stitch. It is my Long Dog sampler, and I'm doing this in a beautiful variegated floss. It's really, really nice. It's by a lady called Natalie Stewart. I will leave her website in the description. You can find her on Etsy as well, but it helps her if you purchase from her website more, because Etsy take a very high amount of fees. This one actually is in 28 count fabric. Now you will probably see the lines come up on the screen in the fabric, but I assure you they are not there anymore. For some reason the camera still picks them up. This was graded fabric and I had to wash it because obviously it's a sampler. So I don't know why on camera they still come up. They must be like underlined, still be there somewhere, but here is my progress. Oh, it's really hard to show you with this because it's so small. It is on 28 count fabric. Let me see if I can put like a book behind it. See if that helps. That helps a little bit. So yeah, this one didn't get much work done, and where is it? I'm actually using my book that I've got my notes on. I did 406 stitches on this one, and it's now at 1.70%. But yeah, the variegated floss, there we go, is beautiful, and I have no method for stitching this. I am stitching this however I feel like it. I'm literally just picking up a strand and just going for it. No rhyme or reason, no certain directions that I'm going. So I think this colour is going to come out very, very nicely. It is quite difficult to show you on camera though, but in person it's absolutely beautiful. It takes a fairly good photo though as well, so hopefully I can get some good photos as we go along. And once it gets a bit bigger, maybe it will show on camera a bit better, I don't know. But this is also another challenge for me this year because I don't usually do samplers, as I have said. But I am absolutely loving it, so if I get this one done, I might go and look at another sampler as well. I really need to stop looking at things. But I would love to do one of these in green. Which one did I like? Was it Death by Cross Stitch, I think I liked? Or there's a Templar one? We're not looking yet. We're going to wait until we've done this one. Yes, we are. Well, I am. So, the last one that I worked on is my Tomb Raider chart. Now, this Tomb Raider chart was a piece of artwork that I asked a artist if I could chart for personal use only. They said yes. Unfortunately, I cannot mention him on Instagram. I tried to post this before and mention him so he could see the progress, because he said to me, let me know how you get on through email. And for some reason his account won't let me tag him. He's got it set up that way, I believe. So this one I did 403 stitches this week. Oh, it's going to be see-through again, isn't it? I don't know if I can show you. So you can't really see much, it's just black. It's not much progress at all. But I did do 403 stitches and I've lost it. Where are we? There we are, 0.17% on this one. So this is the one that I'm going to be doing on the Stitch With Me's. I also will stitch on this randomly if it gets picked on my spin the wheel, because that's what I want to do next. For next week's projects I actually want to spin the wheel again because I found that quite fun. It helps me decide easier. If you know me if you've spoken to me over Facebook and Messenger and all of that type of stuff, you might know that I absolutely hate making decisions about anything in life. So anything that tells me what I'm doing is good. So I usually like to spin the wheel for my next week's projects because I get so overwhelmed with picking. So let's do that now. Okay, so we've obviously got Lord of the Rings, which I do every night for 200 stitches, and Venom. They're the only two projects that I know I'm stitching this week. So Venom will take up 3 days, so that's 4, so I need 3 more charts this week. Darth Daddy, which has made me juggle because I was working on that this week. So it's picked Venom. I think I better remove that and do another one. I'll just show you anyway, but it's picked Venom. But I think I'm gonna remove that and respin because I'm already going to be working on it for 3 days. So let me remove that one. So the next one is Intrusive Thoughts. So Darth Daddy, Intrusive Thoughts, and... oh, you would, wouldn't you? It's picked Pokemon. I'd imagine that's my punishment for not stitching on it last week. So this week, coming up, we're going to be doing Lord of the Rings, Venom, Darth Daddy, Intrusive Thoughts, and Pokemon. These are all older charts that I've already got a lot of progress on, which is really cool to see. So yeah, that's what you'll see next week. Obviously, I'm going to take a break. The Soda Stitch one, I might still stitch on if I've got time during the day, because what I'm going to do with that, I think, is put it next to my living room chair. If you watched my last diamond painting video, actually, my whip and chat, which are very, very similar to Stitch With Me's. If you want to just listen to my day-to-day stuff that I've been doing during the week, just pop over there and listen to them. I talk about things like I do when I stitch, and I talk about redecorating the living room in there. I have a new armchair with a lamp and a table because that's what I wanted, so I could stitch at night when my partner needs to go to bed early to get up for work, because he's usually up at 4 AM, 5 AM. So I'm going to put that Soda Stitch next to my chair, and during the day, if I've got any time to stitch, that's what I'll be picking up, because it's just easy to fill in the colours. And if I get interrupted by my son, it doesn't really matter because I don't need to worry about losing my place on that chart. So that's it for this Flosstube. I will be back next week. Hopefully going forward, I'll be back every week. Unless something happens. If it does, I will put it in the community post thing on YouTube, or I will put it in my Facebook group, Darkxstitch. You're welcome to come and have a look over there. Lots of crafty people. We're all really, really friendly. And I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.